Hi guys, I'm Jordan Van Leenen, and I'm going to be talking about the legalization of marijuana, and hopefully I can change your mind on the stigma and bias about it. What is marijuana? It is a plant that's been on Earth since we've been walking the Earth, used medically by natives, grown naturally as a plant, and smoked. Right now marijuana is in prohibition stage, just like alcohol was in all that time ago, like 50 years ago. People were brainwashed into believing that marijuana is a bad drug, just like heroin or crack, but in reality that is not the situation. Here's a picture of crying marijuana, because that's what I feel like when people are putting marijuana down or not legalizing it just because they believe what they hear from the government. Medical uses. Marijuana has many benefits, but it's mostly known for its medical benefits to people who have cancer, AIDS, HIV, and it's also a good alternative to people who don't want to go to opiate painkillers, because that can also be very addictive, like morphine or Vicodin or whatever they take. But marijuana is a good pain reliever, and also people who are patients in hospitals sometimes don't have good appetites, and marijuana is also known for increasing your appetite and making you hungry so that people don't lose too much weight and their immune system is good. And here's a quote by the Drug Policy Alliance. Wrote this about legalizing medical marijuana. Marijuana has been shown to alleviate symptoms to a wide range of debilitating medical conditions, including cancer, HIV/AIDS, like I said before, and Alzheimer's disease, Crohn's disease, epilepsy, and much more. Marijuana versus alcohol. So alcohol is literally a poison to your system, yet it is illegal. Chemicals in alcohol are known as a carcinogen, which means that it causes cancer. This is like ethanol, which you put in your car, to other chemicals that are just not at all good for your system. And people fatally overdose on alcohol all the time, whether it's their first time because they don't know how much their body can take, or purposefully, or through car accidents. They drink too much and they get in the car. There are no recorded fatal overdoses with marijuana. No one's ever gone to the hospital and died from taking too much marijuana or smoking too much marijuana. And there's no carcinogens. People believe that it causes lung cancer because you're smoking something, but many studies have been done. There's been no conclusive evidence that it causes lung cancer or any type of respiratory issues. So it is also a safe alternative and kind of a lesser of the evils. Of course, you don't want anyone just doing a lot of drugs, but if we're talking about alcohol and marijuana, then we're talking about the lesser of evils, actually, because marijuana is not going to be as dangerous as drinking alcohol. Here's a quote, drug specifically saying that most significantly, the consumption of marijuana, regardless of quantity or potency, cannot induce a fatal overdose. So, no one's ever going to die from smoking too much pot. Economic value of marijuana. The U.S. could benefit greatly if they legalized marijuana and stop the underground trade of marijuana. First of all, underground trade is forcing more violence and more shady kind of connotations of selling and buying marijuana. But if the state legalized marijuana, then they could tax marijuana. Now it is a state revenue, it's a government revenue that they can bring in by just the sales of marijuana under government regulation. Here's a quote that says, prohibition has a host of unintended negative effects that should receive at least as much consideration in evaluations of marijuana policy. And here's another one that says, first, government would save the resources currently devoted to stopping and arresting, prosecuting, incarcerating marijuana users and sellers, and governments could collect tax revenue, like I said before, on production and sales of marijuana. So instead of catching the kid smoking pot in their car, or the kid trying to make a couple $100 selling pot, you could actually use those time and resources into catching real criminals, not the half-assed people just smoking a joint in the car. Here's just a picture of money, and I put the picture of money because it represents how money talks in politics, and that's one of the main reasons why marijuana is not legalized now. And here is a picture of annual deaths, and this is kind of just a scale to show you how marijuana is not dangerous and what the government tries to make you believe. Tobacco has 435,000 annual deaths. Poor diet and exercise causes 365,000 deaths per year. Alcohol has 85,000 prescription drugs, so on in the many thousands. And even they put even aspirin and peanuts in here. And marijuana's at the bottom with 0. So why is it not legalized already? The government has scared the citizens of the U.S., just like my parents or your parents or other people are scared because they think that marijuana is going to make you dumb, it's going to make you crazy, it's going to make you a criminal. But that's just not the case. That's just the propaganda they put out all those years ago to scare everyone into thinking marijuana was this big, evil, crazy thing. They made it a Schedule I drug, like I mentioned earlier, up there with heroin, crack, cocaine. That's just ridiculous. That marijuana is not even on the same plane as that remotely. Government officials are also old and ignorant. They just want to hear what the old people and what money says, so they're just following what their best interests are to get reelected. So that is why it's not legalized today. And here's where there's power, there's persuasion too. And here's a guy, a fat man, obviously supposed to be a politician with a money bag on his head. That's one of the biggest reasons why it's not legalized today. And what you can do to change the law. We have to elect government officials, not just for candidates for presidency, but also people, our city officials, our the mayors, of course, the state government people. They are the people who are going to represent you and what you believe in. So when you put your words out there and tell them what you want, they're going to listen to you, because that's how they're going to get reelected. And that's how we're going to get people to vote for legalizing marijuana recreationally and medically. And showing your advocate publicly to people that you support marijuana. My opinion, I think marijuana is a safe drug with more benefits than there are downsides. My opinion is also people that need to look at the facts and stop going off what they heard about 30 years ago and just literally look at some research. It's not hard to go online and find a peer-reviewed article that shows facts and shows charts and shows everything you need to see, so that you can now believe what you heard was false all those years ago. And if alcohol is legal, then marijuana should be legal, because I believe 100% that marijuana is less dangerous than alcohol. And if we're letting 21-year-olds drink, and then why should we not let people smoke pot when they're the same age? And yeah, so thank you, and that's my presentation, and I hope I persuaded you.